Filmmaker Commentary, episode 164. Welcome to Filmmaker Commentary, where we cover movies with commentaries from directors who take the time to record them on Blu-ray and DVDs.
We also give our detailed insights, so look out for spoilers.
We discuss the latest in showbiz news along with movies and TV shows that we've been watching.
So join Reginald Titus Jr.,
That's me, and KCG Smith.
that's me, every week here on Filmmaker Commentary.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Filmmaker Commentary. I'm Reginald Titus Jr. I'm joined with...
KCG Smith.
Welcome back, sir.
Good to be back, sir.
And today we're talking about The Florida Project, co-written and directed by Sean Baker. Is there like an echo? Does it feel like there's an echo in... Maybe not.
No, I don't. I'm not hearing
Everything's
an
good?
echo.
Okay, cool. What was the budget?
On a budget of $2 million, the Florida Project worldwide grossed $11 million, 5.9 of that being domestic.
Okay. Not bad.
Now that's a win.
Yeah.
Of late from some of the box offices that we've had. Yeah, that's definitely a win.
Yeah. And, again, coming from A24, right? One thing I noticed with them is they're great at doing press, not necessarily advertising for the film that's coming out, but utilizing budget-friendly press. So I noticed that Sean Baker in the film, it was being covered by a lot of podcasts. It's on a lot of YouTube interviews. Like they were really like tap dancing for the press, instead of like pushing in a lot of advertising. I think A24 is real good at some of that guerrilla marketing.
I think with this film in particular, because you have child actors in it, and you're also dealing with a topic that had a certain degree of social relevance that they kind of got passionate about.
Yeah,
I think those elements help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What was did they get any awards or anything like that for this film? I thought I saw that they were trying to go for an Oscar nomination.
There was an Oscar nomination for Willem Dafoe for Best Supporting Actor, both at the Academy Awards and at the Golden Globes. Mainly, it was just a smaller awards kind of sprinkled throughout the film's run. National Society of Film Critics Awards are won. Willem Dafoe again won Best Actor. He's the main one that I see nominated, which I thought. I mean, he's good in it. Absolutely. He's in a role we don't normally see him as far as playing the character of Bob, but I thought some of the other talent was pretty was deserving of some nods. But
I agreed.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Hollywood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't mention the year. This was 2017.
Yes, sir.
Sentiment 2017. What was the vibe that you got from the Times?
So I glanced at a couple of like headlines, and people were praising it because it kind of took that kind of trope of the childhood movie, kind of almost like not necessarily loss of innocence, but kind of turning that kind of on its head, because these kids are living in a state of poverty and kind of don't really realize it.
Yeah.
And especially, being all kind of living together, close to each other anyway, in these motels. And just again bringing to light the kind of unseen homeless epidemic that exists. Like before, I didn't really know this was a thing before watching the movie. These people who are living in motels because they can't afford the deposit for an apartment, let alone a home. And they live there. They pay per week or whatever per day, whatever the situation might be. And then at the end of 30 days, because they can't establish residency there, they have to move all their stuff out at least for one day for 24 hours, and then check back into a room. And so
it's rough life. I knew a couple of people in high school that were living like that. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, and it's not just in Florida, but across the country. Yep. So. It's cool that the film brought more, and it still is bringing more attention to that situation. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But before we talk further about the Florida Project, let's talk about TV, news, and movies. Why?
All right, according to Variety, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has box office buzzing with $104 million debut. Disney's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania buzzed to $110 million at the domestic box office, beating expectations and scoring by far the biggest opening weekend in the pint-sized Marvel trilogy. The superhero adventure starring Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly as the titular heroes is expected to bring in 118 or 120 million from 4,345 North American theaters by President's Day on Monday. It's the first $100 million domestic box office debut of 2023. The film added $121 million at the international box office, bringing its global total to $225 million. Quantumania failed to live up to expectations in China, sputtering with only $19.2 million. So that's one bit of box office info, and it's doing that despite having a rough Rotten Tomatoes score.
Really?
Yeah,
it's, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
they people are proud of that Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's like the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score for like a Marvel film, like lower than Eternals, which is what a burn. Which is shocking to me because I saw the film yesterday and I'm like, I don't get that at all.
Oh.
Like it was. I'll get more.
If you say lower than the Eternal, that's a low blow.
Yeah. So another piece of news, because I'll come back to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. No worries. But in addition to that, according to Deadline, All Quiet on the Western Front wins BAFTA for Best Film among all leading 7 wins. The DGA winner, Everything Everywhere All at Once, is all but shut out. All Quiet on the Western Front became the big winner tonight at BAFTA, taking not just the award for Best Film and Best Director, but a total of 7 prizes out of its 14 nominations. Martin McDonough's The Banshee of I'm going to butcher this. Inisherin, The Banshees of Inisherin, sorry for not pronouncing that correctly, was next with 4 wins, including Best British Film, both supporting performing prizes. It tied with Elvis, which won 4 awards, including Best Actor for Austin Butler, but longstanding award frontrunner Everything Everywhere All at Once failed to capitalize on the success it has engendered. There we go. Engendered in the U.S., winning only 1 award for Best Editing from its 10 nominations.
Okay, I mean, get something.
Yeah, interesting. But anyway, I just wanted to share that from some of the BAFTA action happening.
That's good. Elvis won 4. He won that. Interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen those other films. I haven't seen the Banshees of Inisherin. Nor All Quiet on the Western Front. But I think The Banshees of Inisherin is streaming on HBO Max.
Are they both British films?
I don't. The latter, yes, but I don't know about All Quiet on the Western Front.
Okay.
I don't think that one is. Okay. That sounds like a American film.
Okay. The title. Okay. Good stuff. What you been watching, man? Any TV or movies?
Yes, a few things as I mentioned before. Yesterday, I went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I'm waiting to hear what the streets have to say.
Yes, sir. So I went and watched with a couple of buddies. We all enjoyed it, and the crowd seemed to enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
We watched it in my first experience in the D box.
Okay.
The seats at
the
4D.
Cinemark.
Yeah, like the seats, like they rumble and move a bit. It was actually pretty cool. I was like, that's not bad.
Was it worth the extra $1?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for the experience, like to test it out, I'm like, this is pretty cool because like you're in a vehicle and the car's kind of like rumbling. You're like, huh? And you could adjust the amount of shaking shakes that you have. I wouldn't want to do it for every movie that I see, but for blockbusters like this, it was pretty appropriate because, I mean, what can I say? I enjoyed the film. Is it my favorite Marvel film? No. Is it the best Ant-Man and the Wasp film? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how it the progression is there, because I rewatched the first Ant-Man going into this, and I definitely know I like it better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, which, I mean, it was cool, but yeah, I've yet to go back and watch that one, but this one I would watch again. Whether am I going to go to the theater and watch it again? That I don't know, but I don't get to the theaters that much these days. But when it drops to Disney Plus, I will definitely watch it again. Everything you hear about Jonathan Majors as Kang, he is electric.
He blew me away in the Loki series before I even knew what was going on. Like I went in there no expectations. I'm like, who is this guy?
If you liked him in Loki, you will dig him in this.
Yeah, I'm anticipating what happens.
Yeah, he's powerful, and it's I like how it gives more. There's more reveals to kind of what happened during, and it's not a spoiler, but it gives more info to what happened during Janet Van Dyne's time in the quantum realm, because that's kind of like glazed over. We know she's there for a long time, and the film gives more insight into that. I thought the visuals were good. I enjoyed the performances of the actors. There's humor thrown in throughout, but it's not overwhelming like it was in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Oh God.
There's some pretty cool fights. Some of the humor I thought was pretty good. Like there's a couple of bits that work pretty well. And there's a couple of kind of nice callbacks that happen. So I would recommend rewatch the first Ant-Man before going into this, because it's probably been a while for most of us.
Yes.
But rewatch the first Ant-Man. I don't think you have to rewatch the second one, but yeah, if you want to, great. That's all on Disney Plus. But definitely rewatch the first Ant-Man, because there's some great callbacks to that. It's pretty good fight scenes as well. I thought the visuals were cool, but it does lean heavy sci-fi. There are some definite like Star Wars kind of rebellion vibe kind of going on. I'm like, huh. But yeah, I enjoyed the film. I don't see how someone could say that it's like I don't know, like with the Eternals, because
that's a pretty bold statement.
Eternals is dry. This film is not dry. I mean, real talk. Like Eternals is dry,
and it doesn't feel like a Marvel film.
No, this feels like a Marvel film, and everybody's doing their thing. Everybody has a thing to do. Ant-Man's doing his thing. Janet Van Dyne's doing her thing.
What seems to be the issue then? Because I'm like, did I miss? Because even my friends we're like, we enjoyed it. I'm like, did I miss something? I'm trying to analyze, like, okay, did I miss something in this? I'm like, this seems to have like the formula is there, and I thought the visuals were good. I'm like, I don't know. So again, I'm fine being in the minority. I was rocking with this stuff before it became popular, and I don't think I'm just doing this like as just a Marvel stan. Like if I didn't like it, I'll tell you I didn't like it. Yeah.
When the first
just like you said with the Ad-Man. Part 2. You said,
I'm not crazy about part 2. I used to really not like Iron Man 2. I used to not like the first Thor. Like I was a big fan of those films.
Yeah.
But this Quantumania, I'm like, yo, I felt that they were bringing it. So and there are 2 post-credit scenes. If you go to watch it, yeah, you want to definitely check out both post-credit scenes. Definitely the first post-credit scene is pretty key. The last one, I was like, you don't have to see the last one, I don't think.
Okay.
But the first post-credit scene, I was like, ooh, like the post-credit, that one really gives like insight to later on down the line what is coming.
Okay.
But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. If you're looking for a good sci-fi romp, it's a fun ride. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's what I'll say about that.
For me, did I mention I watched a movie called Vengeance? Did I mention that?
No, sir.
Vengeance. It came out. It says 2022. I remember this being marketed in the theater. I was like, do I want to watch this? I'm not quite sure. It's featuring BJ Novak.
Okay,
that's his name.
Novak. Mm-hmm.
Novak, and Issa Rae is in there. So long story short, a writer from New York attempts to solve the murder of a girl he hooked up with and travels down south to investigate the circumstances of her death. So it's funny how he gets lured into, basically goes to Texas, West Texas, and he gets lured in because the girl who died, her brother calls BJ's character. It's like, hey, you know, so and so died. We're expecting you to be here, and so he's kind of like living this player lifestyle, and so he's just like, we really wasn't really cool, like, you know,
right?
And but he's, well, everybody's expecting you. You're her boyfriend, you know, and so he's kind of pressured to come down south,
sure.
And then, you know, things happen. Long story short, he's trying to create a podcast, kind of like This American. There's a famous podcast called This American Life,
NPR,
and he's creating a podcast in that, investigating this murder. And yes, I don't want to spoil it, but I was going to go to the theater to watch it because I remember they were marketing, but I wasn't quite sure. It seemed like when you watch the trailer, like, I don't know if it's worth going to the theater to watch this. Sure. And sure enough, it didn't really last that long in the theater. So I caught it one of the streaming platforms. But it was a good, maybe 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So Vengeance is the name of that.
Vengeance. Film. Awesome.
And that's all I've been watching.
I jumped into, because again, y'all know I watched all of Blackish.
Yeah.
Every episode, all the seasons. So then, you know, and then I've watched some of Grownish. Like I think I'm on the second season of Grownish, but I haven't gone back to yet. I had to put a pause on that. Mm-hmm. But Mixed-ish kept popping up on Hulu.
Okay.
Like every time I watch episode of Cheers, then like Mixed-ish. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not ready to see this. But finally, I was like, okay, you know what? This weekend, I was doing some photography stuff, and I kind of just let it play. And I got into it. I was like, Dad gum, this is like actually really good. So yeah, I've been enjoying the heck out of Mixed-ish.
Okay.
And plus, it's like set in the 80s. So, I mean, come on, you know.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, man. Child of the 80s, and they're hitting on those things. And so it works. And there's you know, obviously, you know, you got Rainbow's character from Blackish. She's the oldest, and you got her younger brother, and then you got her little sister, Santa Monica. The actress playing Santa Monica, she lights up the screen every time she's on it. She steals every scene. She's, I don't know, like who's this kid? Like, she's just radiating. And then you got our man Paul Gosling from used to be Zach on Saved by the Bell.
Oh, okay. I don't know his real name.
Yeah, it's Paul. I think Gosling.
Sorry about that, Zach.
But he's playing the dad, and so everybody's doing their thing. And then you got Tika Sepner. Tika Sepner playing the mom, gorgeous, doing her thing. Oh, wee! Yes, sir. But it's very enjoyable. And then another actress is playing her sister. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's mixed. I'm like, man, why did I wait so long to check this out? But I'm enjoying it. So what else? I'm watching currently The Woman King, because that just dropped on Netflix. Oh, so I'm about 30 or 40 minutes into that. Okay. So I'll report back. Yeah. So far I'm like, all right, it's solid. Yeah. Still working through The Last of Us. I finished The Power Project with Jamie Foxx from a couple of years back.
Dude, isn't it great?
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, why did I finish? I don't know. I was just in a different headspace. I was just like dropping off stuff like, I don't know. But yeah, The Power Project. I was like, this is whatever deal. Like, I'm like, man, Jamie had to struck a deal with Netflix. Yeah, absolutely. Just like, he's like, what is this? Wait, Adam Sandler got a deal. Let me get a deal too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's cranking out this content, but some good stuff. I'm like, man, but you know, that is not a inexpensive looking movie. Oh, like, no, they spent some money.
They absolutely did.
But
if he sticks to the movies, leave the sitcom stuff alone.
Whoa,
like real talk. I mean, the streets talked on that one. I mean, it's a rough go at it. I couldn't go past half of an episode.
They can't all be winners, unfortunately. Yeah, it's gonna be some
but his movies, the movie stuff that he's pushing out there is highly entertaining.
Blame it on the juice. Oh man, I'm also still rocking through some Emily in Paris on Netflix. That's an enjoyable show as well. Okay. Still rocking through some 80s with Cheers.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm working with.
Today's show is sponsored by
Natural Hair, the movie by Grinder the Matter Films, available to stream for free on Tubi and also on Roku on demand. Please check it out and leave a review.
And let's jump back into the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm off
We
today.
jumping back into
To
this
the
show.
Thank you for tuning in to Filmmaker Commentary. We're talking about The Florida Project, co-written and directed by Sean Baker. 2017 is when this movie came out, and let's jump into the synopsis. On a stretch of highway just outside of the most magical place on earth, 6-year-old Mooney and her ragtag band of playmates spend an unforgettable summer at the Magic Castle, a budget motel managed by Bobby, whose stern exterior hides a deep reservoir of kindness and compassion as he watches over the kids' adventures, protecting them from some of the harsher realities of life. The Florida Project.
And if this is your first time listening to Filmmaker Commentary, please know that there will be spoilers. You've been forewarned.
The Florida Project. Are you going to introduce our cast for us?
Yes, starring in the Florida Project, we have a litany of first-time actors as well as one stalwart himself. So, of course, in the lead role of Mooney, we have one Brooklyn Prince. In the role of Scooty, we have Christopher Rivera. In the role of Dickie, we have Aiden Malik. In the role of Grandma Stacy, we have Josie Olivio. As well as in the role of Jancy, we have Valeria Cotto. In the role of Haley, who plays Mooney's mother, we have first-time movie actress Bria Vignate. And then, of course, in the role of Bobby, we have the incomparable Willem Dafoe, Academy Award nominated Willem Dafoe.
Bobby. The cast was well put together. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How did you watch this film? What did you do and did you know about this film?
I did know about this film. I remember seeing the nomination that Willem Dafoe got for Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards. Mm-hmm. Now, they always show a little clip, and I remember seeing that at the Oscars. I was like, the Florida Project, that sounds interesting, but it looked kind of like, okay, they had a hotel. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Because I'm used to seeing Willem Dafoe usually in harder roles or playing the bad guy. So I was like, Anyway, I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, that's about it. But I watched it on Blu-ray for the first time. Mm-hmm. It was enjoyable, and at the very end, pulled a few tears out of me. I was like, oh,
not again.
Yeah,
824.
It got me. I was like,
I know, dude.
Dang, man! When Mooney starts crying, I was like,
that was rough. That was rough.
It hit me. I was like,
makes me want to tear up now.
Oh yeah, that was good.
She's a star. She's a star.
Yeah,
I don't know how they did that. I don't know how she pulled that off. Like dude.
Did you watch the behind the scenes?
I didn't, but you did. So
yes,
I only did a little bit I did some research. But so I watched the film on most of A24 films are on Showtime. So I caught it on Showtime, and then since this one didn't have any commentary, I was like, let me just listen to like some of the interviews that director and Willem Dafoe that they conducted over the promotion. I guess they were doing a lot of promotion for the Oscar run.
Yeah, I must admit, again, obviously, you guys know by the name of the show that we typically 99% of the time we're watching films that have commentary tracks. We made an exception with this one.
Yeah.
But actually it works out pretty nice because the behind the scenes featurette runs about 23 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And it gives some nice insight. And they specifically took time to document themselves filming. And so even like while they're filming and while Sean is giving direction, there's another camera there like documenting it. And even some of the rehearsal stuff, like the scene where Haley runs to the bathroom to throw up after beating down let me make sure I mention the actress' name because she was important to the...
Her last name is Murder.
Yeah, right. Mela Murder. What the heck? Who played the role of Ashley, who got them hands.
Yes.
So after Haley beats down Ashley and runs to the bathroom, like Sean was like doing the blocking for that, saying how it's going to work and telling the cinematographer, okay, you're going to go here and then you're going to say, okay, I'm rotating whatever. And then you're going to, cut to basically Mooney on the bed, and then you're gonna cut back to you're gonna then pan back over. You go, I'm panning again. And you pan back to Haley, who's gonna do her second take of throwing up. But
good blocking.
Yeah, so you could see him like giving that direction, and he had an assistant or a producer on set who was kind of the main one, kind of working with the kids. So yeah, it's a nice little featurette. But then it's there's like a 49 minutes of interviews with the cast.
Really?
Yeah, and cast and crew. So first it's with Sean. You get about 15 minutes with him talking about the project. Then you get Willem. Then you get Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Then you get Valeria. Then you also get Miss Murder as well. Then you get also his co-writer. Is like the last one to share. So that's
right.
Yeah, all
that's
that.
A lot.
Yeah,
okay.
It's actually pretty comparable, I thought, to a commentary track. I was like, this is all pretty solid stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
no pressure. What I liked. Did you like? What did you like or not like about it?
I liked the performances. You know, the kid actors. They really, bad as they are, they're not bad actors, but the characters are bad, like unsupervised.
Right.
This kid's running rampant. Initially I have like low times, but the film does a great job of winning you over. You're like, oh, because you're following them the whole time, you can't help but root for them, and you realize, oh, they're not in the best situations, and their parents are doing what they can, but yeah, this is a rough spot. But they don't realize that they're poor.
You're right.
Because their parents are doing the best that they can.
Absolutely.
So I enjoyed that. I mean, I enjoyed the movie as a whole. It's effective. And in the end, again, if you could pull some tears out of me, I'm like, man, yeah, Joker's got me.
They did. They
got me, man.
It's heartbreaking. Real heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I watched it with my wife. I forgot to say that.
Mm-hmm.
When we watched it twice. So we watched it, Sunday. We watched it Saturday night because we were able to get a babysitter and we watched it. It was like, dang. She's not pregnant anymore. My wife's not pregnant anymore. So, like, if she was pregnant, she'd probably be crying for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
All the emotions.
Yeah, but now that the baby's, out into the real world, still was able to pull some tears out of both of us. But we watched, when I went to work this morning, she texted me, she's like, oh, I miss my friends in Florida. And then
okay.
And I said, all right, when I come back, we'll watch it again. Because I got to watch it for our show. So I was like, let's watch it again. We watched it again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just like we watched the first time. No fast forward, nothing. Just watched it all the way through. It's like, dang, this is well done.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it to be as good as it is.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. That's I'm glad y'all enjoyed it so much that it was worth a second run.
Yeah, because she doesn't watch films like. Sorry, no worries. She doesn't watch films for a second time really like that.
Right.
Kids do, but yeah, she really does. She's like, oh wow, I watched this more than once. Like that's saying something. But what I did like, it reminded me of my own childhood. Just kind of seeing how lost these kids were in their own world, even when danger looms. In my childhood. We ran across a pedophile, and just like, but you don't realize what you don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's the innocence.
Yeah.
There's this innocence that's there, and there's just this world's yours to explore.
Yeah,
flirting with disaster and danger, and these kids were like, they knew when they were doing bad. Like when they set those condos on fire, and they came back, and then the rest of the people are like, the parents are like, oh, you want to watch the condos burn? I'm like, what kind of community?
Well, like it depends. So like, if you're not guilty of what's going on,
of arson,
yeah, like fire is a spectacle. There was a this happened in 2012, I think. There was a 18-wheeler that fell off the side of I-30, and I had my camera with me, and I was able to exit, and I took a picture of it.
Right.
And that picture, we sent it to the Dallas Morning News, and they showed it in there. But
you talked about that on one of the episodes.
I
when
did.
That happened.
But it was just a spectacle. Everybody was around. It's like, oh man, it's like watching tragedy.
So everybody's like trying over, like, oh, the fire gods. Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Like those little toys in the first Toy Story. Whoa.
Absolutely, that's something about fire, dude, and seeing something on fire.
Like Master the Flame.
If you're not the one responsible,
yeah, because Who's that? Why are you standing over in the corner by yourself? No reason. No reason at all. Why you got smoke on your clothes? No reason at all. Nothing to see here. Nothing to...
Right.
You're like Jack Riley. What the...
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to see here.
That's why I don't use matches.
Oh, man. But no, I enjoyed the performances. I didn't like the mom, Haley. I was like, because she's a liar. Lying all the time. Like direct lies. Bad lies. Dumb lies. Like, oh, you're a liar. But then you come around like, okay, she's doing the best. I can only imagine what her parents were like, well, how she was raised. Yeah. So she doesn't know any better. She's trying to do the best that she can with limited resources in every way, from education to money to
the whole gamut,
vocational skills.
Yeah. When the first scene, one of the first scenes is the kids like spitting on a car. And I thought, I was like, I wonder what Casey thinks about this.
You hear?
I mean, of all things, spit on a car? Like, they're spitting on a car. Kid.
Like, not that one or two, like, drops. I thought they were kind of trying to hit people.
Yeah.
But then you see the lady's car.
Just as bad.
That is just as bad. And then she
maybe worse.
Yeah, I would say people care more. But then, like, little Mooney, like spits on Jancy and, like, it hits her. I'm like, oh, man.
They're like, F you, lady.
Yeah.
You. I'm like, wow.
Little foul mouth little
one. Got the middle fingers going and everything. So this film did not have a commentary, but it did have the special features that you were talking about.
Yes. Well done. Worthwhile checking out. And I felt, pretty concise. It's almost, obviously when we do these commentary tracks, we're rewatching the whole film again. I usually have it on the setting. I can move it at 1.5 speed, but you had the Under the Rainbow, Making the Florida Project. You had a blooper and outtakes reel, which was pretty charming. Uh-huh. Then you had, of course, the cast and crew's interview. That was about 48 minutes worth of interviews, and that was really
insightful. Yeah,
very insightful, worth checking out. So yeah, it's a nice little purchase and good insights. Man, Florida Project. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
it was enjoyable. Again, I didn't watch any trailers for it. I just kind of jumped in.
Yeah, and I was familiar with the project, but I was like, this is one of those things on the list. I was like, I got to check it out. Just don't know when. Again, you look at this key art, you're like, there's nothing about this key art that makes you want to watch it. It's a little girl. Her eyes are cut off, and she's just running, and there's a rainbow in the background. Nope.
It looks like a bad picture, like her mom maybe like took when she was moving. with her camera.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, it became key art. But now it has a different kind of weight to it. It feels like appropriate. Like, okay.
Yeah, you have to watch the film to get the key art. Whereas usually when key art uses a marketing piece, you use the key art to get people to watch the film.
But there's a couple of different versions. I've seen other versions of the key art where it's Haley, the mom, is leaning over maybe a shopping cart and Mooney is in it. So
coming back from like the dollar store.
Yeah, so that gives you a different vibes to it. So I guess this is after the fact, but
from a tone perspective, as soon as this film opens, you get Scooty and Mooney, and they're talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another kid, Dickie. He's running after him. He's like, hey, I forgot what he wants. But we see him from like he's running in front of us, and so we see his back, the back of his head, and he's running towards Mooney and Scooty, and so it was like, okay, we're getting introduced into their world. And then they go and they start spitting on the car.
But also, I think the point, like they're yelling at the top of their lungs to each other. Kids have like that outside voices means top of the lungs.
Yeah,
and they're. But you don't know the characters' names.
Yeah,
because the names are unique. Mooney, Dickie.
Scooty.
I'm like, what's he saying? Because I'm like these are, because it's not like saying Jenny or Dave,
right?
Like
nicknames.
Yeah, like what are they saying? I'm like, I thought they were just, I don't know what they were saying, and then you realize, these are their names. But yeah, they're on top of their lungs, and all of a sudden they run back to this space so they can start spinning. But just the dialogue with the kids is so well done. They let them improv, because it sounds like really silly kid talk, like kind of nonsensical, or just saying whatever is on their minds. It feels authentic. It's like, wow,
Yeah. That's also another thing that I liked about the film is like it feels real. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dang, that's why, by watching it feels like, hey, I visited this place. This is a real place, the Magic Castle. It feels like, oh, I've been there before. Yeah, that's the kind of like the weird thing about this film is that it feels kind of documentary in a way.
Yeah, it has those vibes for sure.
What did you get from a tone standpoint?
Drama, a little bit of comedy, and it feels human. I said humanity. Mm-hmm. Like this feels very grounded, and especially really through everybody's eyes, there's this element of humanity that comes out, whether it's the friendship amongst the kids, to Bobby,
yeah,
his tightrope walking the line of manager and trying to keep this place organized and running a business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the compassion he has towards the kids, trying to, keep them, like, he's so patient. Like, this kid's freaking literally turned the power off. Like,
yeah.
But he tries to stay calm, but the dude's stressed out. He is stressed out. Like, he's better as kids running around here. But he understands that their kids, again, not in the best situations. And then even, with Haley's mom, trying to make it work, selling perfume bottles in front of the country club or wherever she's going to, and then ultimately selling her body to,
to get by, just to get by.
What kind of tone did you grab from this?
The overall tone is, it's harsh reality, but it's beautiful too. It's like, it's human. It's human nature. It's kind of like showing what being a human is, like in a kind of from an artistic lens. Yeah, it's almost like a portrait of humanity.
Yeah, and still being able to enjoy life, because early on when Haley would send Mooney and Scooty, when she would send them to Alicia's place of work to get food.
Yeah. And
then Haley and Alicia would hang out after I put the kids down to bed.
Was it Ashley or Alicia?
Maybe it is Ashley, but like it is Ashley. My bad. Yeah, but they're hanging and just sitting by the pool or smoking a little something, and they're having a little drink, but like they're chilling out, like kind of just enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's still Florida.
Right. Ish. Yeah.
Or they're going out to little spots or whatever, and they're still living their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Life goes on. From a music standpoint, usually I cover the music and things like that, but there wasn't really a score. Like the sounds came, and maybe that's part of the reason why it feels so real. Like there isn't a score to kind of guide you how to feel. It's like, oh, we hear the helicopters. Oh, we hear like the crap that's going on outside. And the only time we really get music is if we're hearing it through a character's phone device, some rap music, or through their boom box. And the opening credit is the only time we hear like a music cue.
Didn't they play something at the very end when Mooney and Janzi are running off towards Disneyland? And their little montage, they're kind of cutting between them running. I think there's something playing then, but that's...
I don't know if it's a music cue or if it's, a composer doing it, and that I don't know. I don't know if it's a popular song. I can't remember.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, for the most part, I don't remember a lot of like score kind of filling in and during different parts. I just mainly remember just the dialogue and silence at different times. Yeah. And then the kids just, them chattering. And
I think that's why it makes it feel so real. Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, I didn't notice the soundtrack. And Sean mentioned it later. He's like, yeah, he didn't have a score. Somebody doing the score.
It works.
It did, man.
It works.
Immersive for sure. From a styling standpoint, what do you think they were achieving, and how did they do their style? Did you notice anything in the film that showed a style?
I think it does a good job of coming down to the level of where the kids are at, like in being in their world with them. We get that from the very beginning. Like we're in their world, and all the adventures that they go on. We spend more time with them, and we spend the majority of the time like with Mooney. Every now and then we'll have some scenes separated where you might have Bobby doing something or maybe Haley, but like 90% of the time we're rocking out with Mooney.
Yeah.
And again, the look of it, again, there's obviously a lot of natural light because they spend quite a bit of time outside, but the look of it for me, like seeing these multiple kind of initial kind of indie films, like there's a look that kind of seems consistent with when I think of Minari. Yeah. Well, how about you?
Man, they shot 35 millimeter on this one. So Xanamorphic shot 35 millimeter, which is expensive to shoot on. But Sean was saying that, this is his first budget that's over $1 million, whereas other projects were low budget. We talked about his other film that was shot on the iPhone.
Tangerine, right?
Yeah. And so he's always, financing his own films, but this is like one of the first times where a studio was actually financing the project. So he had a little bit more money to play with. So he shot 35 millimeter. And it's beautiful. Like when you see like the rainbow or you see like the colors are really popping. They're really vibrant. And it looks, it has a film look. You can definitely feel that. I'm not sure from a lens standpoint, what lenses they use to kind of give it that look. And then from Sean, from his style, I noticed that he likes to shoot the back of people's heads a lot. And that maybe that's just his thing. So I did notice that. And like you said, we're in the world of the kids, so a lot of the angles are low angles, shooting up at adults. Or if we're with an adult, it's on their same level, but usually it's kids and we're shooting up if we see an adult. So from a style standpoint, it definitely has its own style. From a theme standpoint, with it, there's a lot going on.
Yes, sir. I had themes of innocence, survival, hustle, the gig is up, and heart versus responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
I think about Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of how he manages his whole thing. Like, okay, he's like, okay, I got a responsibility to this property, but I got to look out for these kids. And even obviously he looks out for Haley almost like a daughter.
Yeah.
So that's real precious to see that. But then with Haley, as she gets kind of dicier and dicier in her occupational decisions,
yeah,
you're like, okay, this is not going to end well.
No,
because you see that these little glimpses of like when Bobby, like there's one scene where he's in the forefront, like he's checking rooms, whatever, and all of a sudden you see somebody come out of Haley's room and they just get out of the scene, and Bobby kind of looks back,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Like, uh-oh.
Like, man, you're paying attention. This theme I actually got from Sean. He was talking on an interview, and he said it was like families being separated. And so, of course, we see that at the end of the film. We've been hanging out with Haley and Mooney this whole time, and to see their camaraderie and then to see them be separated is like very heartbreaking. But then we also see Bobby's character talking to his son, which is like an estranged, strange wife or whatever, but how they've been kind of split up by whatever the backstory is going on there, and so like just kind of these separated families, in this community.
Broken homes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even the fact that with Jancy, that she's living with her grandmother.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, Haley asked her grandmother, "Oh, are they yours?" She goes, "No." She goes, "Well, no, they are. They are now."
Wow.
And because her mother keeps acting like her dumb boyfriend or something like that.
Dang.
So yeah, just a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, we see that a lot of times in the black culture. You see that Shannon Sharp famously always talks about his grandparents, and how they raised him. I don't know if necessarily, maybe it's a theme, but like the invisible is now visible. The people that are never really seen, they're being seen, but like through this film, we get to, see these people who had never had a voice really.
I think Sean refers to them as the hidden homeless.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate because I'd never really heard or thought about this before. You don't have those resources to, have your own apartment. Again, I've, having previously years ago worked for a staffing agency where I saw firsthand what happened to people who made one mistake in life and went to prison.
Oh God.
And then coming out, trying to find work and not being able to, and just having to get these day labor jobs where you literally have to show up at 5 a.m. to hopefully, maybe you have your own vehicle, but maybe you don't. So hopefully someone will give you a ride to get out to a work site so you can shovel gravel, something like that. And if you do one thing that someone doesn't like, a funny look or whatever, then you're off that site. And you're just getting paid for the day. Yeah. It's day labor. And wondering how people make a living off that. And they may have kids, or they may be being hit with child support. It's like, they're just trying to get the basics down. And then having to maybe they're on parole. They have to maybe leave this day labor gig. I've got to go check on my parole officer and going through all those things. And that's if you're trying to live straight. Yeah.
That's if you don't have any, assuming you don't have any mental issues or anything like that.
No. Yeah. Or the pull to go back to, whatever kind of got you locked up. They're trying to get some quick money.
Yeah. But I see as, one of the themes is just like, you can kind of see how there's a system in place in America for, how people make their money. But when the things or decisions you might have made in your life kind of buck that system, I was talking to my wife about this. I said we not necessarily have the luxury, but we don't have in our background like a felony or anything like that. So we get to apply for jobs and not have that scrutiny. Whereas you get that blemish on your record, now the system doesn't work how it was intended anymore. You're kicked out of that economic system.
Well, again, we talked about, talking about Ant-Man, right? Famously in the first film, he opens up with him, Scott Lang, getting out of jail.
Yeah.
And he even says to his friend picking him up, he goes, man, look, I've got a master's in electrical engineering.
Yeah.
He has a graduate degree. He's like, I'll be fine getting a job. Next thing you see, he's at Baskin Robbins.
Right.
And then gets pulled into the office and says, oh, you guys find out about my past? And Baskin Robbins always finds out. It's like, and then he's getting let go from a Baskin Robbins job.
Yeah.
Just from, having that felony. He robbed a corporation that was robbing people. Yeah. He did a Robin Hood thing.
Yeah.
It worked out for him in the end, but but in real life,
in real life,
not so much. It's very hard. Even school. Again, when I was working at colleges, people would have to fill out the application and it would ask. It was a specific. It was question number 15.
Yeah.
It was, they filled out question number 15. They said yes. Then that was a whole separate process. They had to talk with a different department to find out. Okay, what were you arrested for? Was it violent? Would you potentially pose a threat at the campus? And those are legitimate questions the school has to ask. But sometimes if it was something that's too bad, then the application wouldn't be considered anymore. Like, right. Dang, and you would feel for him, because I remember having students come in who, this one dude came through. He had this work he had done while he was incarcerated. Some incredible looking work.
Right.
And
it's like and that's what the theme is, like the system is broken. Because you can't, how do these people, you go, you serve your time, and that's supposed to be, you pay your debt to society.
So, it's supposed to be able to rehabilitate.
And now you're still,
being punished.
Yeah, still being punished.
To me, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay, no, you've paid your debt. Yeah. You should be able to come out clean slate. Yeah. I mean, that's what you did time for.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not going to have a clean slate, then why are you wasting this time locked away somewhere and blah blah blah? Like, no, like they did their thing. That's like when Michael Vick came out. I'm sorry to mess, but like when Michael Vick, dude went to prison.
Yeah.
For dogfighting. He broke the law, served his time, and then he came out. And when the Eagles wanted to draft him and he'd go back, people were like, no. I'm like, what are you talking about? He paid for his crime. Mm-hmm. But in the court of public opinion, they wanted that guy to continue to be punished. I'm like,
to this day,
get over yourself, okay? He paid for the crime. Everybody's broken the law before. If you got arrested if you got a parking ticket or a traffic ticket, would you want people coming around you saying you couldn't drive no one, wanting your license revoked? No, get out of here.
Get out.
Yeah. That was just, I'm like, man, people.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a tangent.
Yeah, a little wild out here.
But it's not easy when you've made mistakes, when we all do.
Yeah.
And when you don't have access to resources, or when you're ready to try and improve yourself, and you either don't know how to do it. And so seeing the situations people are in, like, how do they break this cycle?
Yeah, and it some don't, because it's hard to get out of that, especially when it's economic. You're being basically shut out of an economic system. The only way to kind of overcome that is, like, you have to be self-employed.
I almost wonder, like, why some people don't have like welfare.
Who?
Like, I wonder if like Haley, like, if she's like on some kind of welfare or something like that.
Don't know. I don't know how it works in Florida.
Yeah, neither do I. That's something I was like, I want
like a Section 8 thing.
or at least, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah. But we did see her, Haley, talking to I don't know if that was her PO who she was talking to.
Yeah.
She was trying to get like some bus passes and some other things.
That's true.
Have you been trying out for these jobs? And, she was kind of frustrated about the job situation.
She's very quick to get angry.
Yeah.
And it's a nasty thing when she does. She's like, oh, like, how does anybody want to help you? Like, she gets angry super fast and then lies all the time. Like, those things, I was like, she self-sabotages. Like, like, what are you doing? You are burning bridges.
Makes me think like she's bipolar. We talk about mental issues. It's like she jumps too quick to anger that I'm like, she might be bipolar.
Yeah.
Undiagnosed.
But doesn't really have anybody. I mean, when her best friend like kind of cuts her off and it says, "Nah, we're not doing this anymore." After Scooty,
yeah.
After Scooty gets arsonist guilt, confesses to his mom, we set those condos ablaze, Ma. I ain't no good. I ain't no good. And mom's like, okay, no more food for them. Like, she cuts him off. Like, Ashley doesn't play. So she's trying to protect her son, but she's like, nope. And then like when she brings up the image of Haley, goes, "This is you," and Haley's dumb butt, "What do you mean that's not me?" She's like, "These are your tattoos." I'm like, oh, Haley, you're a terrible liar. Like, you're a nonsensical liar. You just lie by reflex, like straight reflex. That ain't me. These are your tattoos. Like, oh man. And then like she said, "If you yada yada, I will kill you." And then snap, like she assaults her friend. She gets. I'm like, oh. I was like, Ashley. I thought Ashley would have get some licks in. She got beat down,
like the monkey treatment. The way they beat their leaders up, like, yeah.
And that little boy Scooty just like,
he is no help. What are you? Thanks for nothing, pal.
Like, wow.
You just watch your mother get jacked up.
Scooty, you are fired as a son. You are fired.
He just watches, like, help, stop it, Haley, something.
Yeah, like, get off my mama. He's just like,
she wouldn't let me play, so she's getting beat up. That's how he looks.
Man, these hardcore kids out here.
I have a section called the director point of view. He mentioned that he was inspired by the Little Rascals, and that in the Little Rascals, like, these are like comic shorts, but they're set against the backdrop of the Great Depression.
Yeah, I never really realized that.
I was like, what? Yeah, it's like, that's true. Most of the kids were living in poverty, he said, but the focus was about the joy of childhood, and so that's kind of the point of this film. When you're talking about the hidden homeless, the director, he didn't know, so his co-writer was the one who introduced him like to this world.
They actually, well, no, I'll mention that in trivia.
Okay. That's all I got from a director point of view. What are your memorable or favorite scenes?
Again, we already talked about it, but the opening of them spinning on the car. Here's one that got me. I'm a fan of action figures.
Yes.
So when the dad is like, he got this box and like they're packing up this is Dickie's dad, the kid, first kid we see running.
Yeah.
The beginning of the film. But now he and Dickie are leaving.
Yeah.
And they got the station wagon or whatever all packed up. And he's like, oh, man, we don't have... And all the kids are saying goodbye to Dickie. He's giving them high fives.
Yeah, all the kids are wrapped around the car.
Yeah.
It's like a big deal.
And then the dad's all of a sudden like, it's one box, like one small box. And he's like, oh, son, we can't fit it. He goes, look, I'll get you all new toys once we get to, I think Louisiana, I think is where they were going.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, grab whatever your favorite, and then, so guys, just take what you want out of the box. He's got to watch his friends, like just take all the stuff. I was like, oh man! And again, the kid's like, Dickie's like, okay, fine, new toys, all right, fine. I'm like, man, Dickie, he's taking this well. I would have melted down. What the hell, Dad? This is bullshit. Oh man, I would have flipped. You want me to what? Get your hands off that.
How would you feel if I gave your toys away?
I would be like, hey, is everybody catching these hands?
Right.
But yeah, I was like, no, that is rough. That is rough. But yeah, that stood out to me.
The kids, after they get through spitting on the car, like how they're walking away. So they spit on this car and they run like they got away with it. I don't even live here. And then they run across, and then they're just like Brooklyn, Mooney. She's just like doing this little dance and all this stuff. Like just a bad kid, just like this doing a little like they got away with it.
No supervision. No, like these kids haven't had their butts whipped. Like nobody,
At all.
Yeah. Oh, so when the kids are outside playing in front of the motel, Holiday Inn, no, but they're out there playing, and then you see this one guy, and they often say you never know what a pedophile looks like, but they sure as hell try. Because this guy, he comes up and he's this white pasty white guy. You can't tell quite how old he looks. Older,
he looks.
But then you're like
60. He look like he's been burnt in the sun a little bit. He's off.
Yeah,
he looks off.
And then like something like maybe like there's something wrong with him mentally.
Yeah,
like he's a little slow in processing, but creepy.
Yeah, absolutely
creepy. Like whatever they did, like you're like, oh, instantly you're like, oh, pedo right there. Stranger danger.
Stereotypical pedophile.
Stranger danger immediately, and then he's talking to the kids, and then when they cut over to Bobby, like, okay, you know the way the scene is shot that Bobby is going to know this guy, and Bobby looks. He gives it that Willem Dafoe stare.
Yeah,
the eyes. And then he looks again. And then then he starts to walk over there.
Yeah, because like the scene opens up with it's a picnic table by the water, and then it's like the girls and boys. So it's like they're all together.
It's like all of them out there playing.
Yeah, and the girls are like, it's our table. So the only girls on this table, and then the boys on the other side. So it was like a big deal. And then you just see this creepy, pasty old white man kind of like, hey. Well, I forgot what he said. Are you having fun? Something
Want some candy? No! Stranger danger!
What's the guy, the old guy on Family Guy that's the pedophile?
Oh. I don't know the guy's name, but it's creepy.
Hey, little boy.
Yeah, but this dude is there, and Bobby makes his way over, and he's like, excuse me, sir, do you live here? Yeah. Are you a resident here? Yeah. How can I help you? I'm like, I'm just looking for, I think the guy said he was thirsty or...
I just wanted a soda. He said he wanted a soda.
So you came out to the parking lot you came to a motel for sodas. Like, Bobby's like giving him a third degree, asking us, well, we've got machines over here. Come on. We'll get you a drink. And Bobby's handled it very, very, very smartly.
Yeah.
And gets the guy away from the kids and, come on, walk with me, friend.
Yeah.
Takes him, walks him over, go to the soda machine. And
the creepy part about the walk, when he's walking him to the soda machine, the creepy old white guy keeps looking back at the kids. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah. The actor who pulled it off, very convincing. Very, very convincing. So you get to the machine, the guy puts in, his change, gets the drink, and it starts heading back, back towards the kids. And Bob was like, wait a minute, I thought you said you were thirsty. Aren't you gonna drink that? And he goes like, yeah, how much I get? Yeah, takes a couple of sips, and then Bob was like, what'd you really come here for? Something like that. And he's like, Oh, you gonna play it like that?
No. So what makes that scene funny is that he's sipping the soda, and then William Dafoe slaps it out of his hand. He lets him drink it, and then he slaps it out of his hand.
You come back here again. I think he said he'd kill him, something like that. I was like, good job, Bobby.
Oh man, that was great. Just
you get the hell out of here. I was like, yeah, tell him, Bobby. Oh man, that was a satisfying scene the way it played out. The only thing he could have done, maybe he could have laid hands on him, but but he protected the kids though. I was like, yeah, man,
yeah.
But Bobby is good. He's a good guy.
When we're watching this film because we have kids, and wife was like, whoa. Because Florida is a hotbed for pedophiles.
Eesh.
Because Disney World,
yeah,
it's a known fact. So that had to be addressed some kind of way in this film, and we were asking, like, man, what are the kids like? Where? I was like, there's got to be some like creepy person or something that shows up in this film. That's what we're just kind of thinking about it. And then, sure enough, in that scene, oh, there it is.
There you go, just for you guys. There you go, pedo cameo number 1. Yeah, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's a scene where Bobby lights up a cigarette. He's on the balcony at the Magic Castle, and then as soon as he lights up the cigarette, all the lights come on. I was like, oh, they must have timed it. Like there's no way. He lights the cigarette up, blows smoke, and then the lights, everything lights up. This is great.
That's cool. I hadn't noticed that. Okay, so again, for those who are living in these motels, again, they can't establish residency. So every 30 days, they have to check out of their room.
Yeah.
And so that time comes for Haley. Plus, she's struggling to pay rent, to pay for her room. And so, Bobby's helping them take all the stuff. They put it in this one other vacant room. She goes to this other motel across the way. I forget what it's called.
Oh, I forgot too.
But she goes there and is supposed to be able to pay like a one night rate of like $40 or $45. $35 for one night. And apparently it's a deal that's been worked out with the Magic
Castle.
The Magic Castle and this other property. But this lady behind the desk, she's like new management.
Yeah.
She's not having it.
Nope.
She's like, nope, all prior deals are null and void. And of course, Haley, she's not taking too kindly to that. And she's going straight attitude. You know what I meant to say before when we talked about like themes or tones? Mm-hmm. This has some at Zola tones.
Yeah, because it's in Florida again.
I'm like, what's up with Florida? All this back page action in Florida, and these white girls that have this black scent and
also too, Florida
selling what's worth thousands and it's like,
worth thousands, man.
Oh man.
Florida is also porn. They can shoot porn there. So remember, I forgot the name of that documentary with Quincy Jones' daughter.
I didn't.
Hot Girl Wanted. I think that's the name of it.
Something like that.
Hot Girl Wanted. She did like a series of these.
That's on Netflix.
On
I'm mistaken.
Yeah, Rachel. I don't know.
Rashida.
Lord. Yeah. So she executive produced those films, kind of shedding light on the porn industry and specifically in Florida.
Huh. The other coast. Another coast. Mm-hmm. Or just a coast. But where was I at?
You were talking about
so they're sidetracked.
Yeah.
But so they're there and Haley is going off. But then Bobby kind of overhears it and he walks back in. What's going on? But we had this deal. He's trying to, smooth things out and nope, that lady still not having it. She goes, no, she goes, and he even puts money down. He goes, there's the Magic Castle discount.
Yeah.
He even puts money down to help pay for it. And this lady still won't take the money. She doesn't want the business. And even while that's going on, at one point, Little Mooney's like, give us a break. She says she yells something at the lady.
Yeah.
Give us a freaking break, lady, or something like that. I'm like, this kid.
Yeah.
But no, she's not having it.
The lady's like, listen to your daughter. Look at yourself. No, it's no.
I was like,
no wonder why you're in this position.
I'm like, oh man,
wow.
Yeah, she takes the dig at her, this woman and her lifestyle. But Haley's not helping the situation because she just goes.
She's gone.
Yeah, and she takes her drink and pours it out on the floor, and they're like, oh, and she grabs the money, and that lady act like she's gonna go after her. Like, no, you that would not be a good look for you. This girl could throw hands.
Yes.
It's like that head
throwing them bones at you.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that was that stood out to me.
There's a shot of we see the hotel from one end, and then the kids are like maybe on the second or third level, and they're running all the way across from right frame all the way to the left, and the camera just follows them probably for like 30 seconds. Like, dang. And then they come down some stairs, and then they stop. Cut to, I was like, what are they looking at? Then they're looking at the swimming pool, and it's an old lady who's topless.
Oh.
And they said, look at her boobies. It's like, but anyhow, that scene is just interesting. Like, where are they going? And these kids are just running. We're following them, and they're hiding because they're peeking a sneak at this lady who's naked at the swimming pool.
Just, out there sunbathing. And of course, it gets awkward when Bobby goes over there, which I'll say one of those quotes for later.
Okay.
But, yeah. So again, I've alluded to this scene multiple times, but when Haley again confronts Ashley and they get in a fight, I thought, okay, maybe they were going to make up, maybe this is the end one, but it escalates instantly.
Triggered.
And I thought maybe Ashley would slam the door on Haley's face, but no, Haley snaps and tackles her friend and just proceeds to beat the hell out of her.
She did it in a style of, what's the name of the movie we seen? Nope. The movie Nope, when the monkey gets free and destroys people.
Yeah.
Ape style. She does ape style on her face.
And Spooky.
Scooty?
I cannot remember that kid's name for anything.
It's all good. We had subtitles, that's why I remember.
Scooty, sorry ass, is like the other kid in Nope that was kind of terrified, just sitting there watching it all.
I mean, what do you do?
Terrified. Just like frozen with fear. It's like, good job, Scooty.
Thanks for nothing, pal.
Fired. Pack up your stuff and leave. But yeah, and then man, the sad thing is when we see Alice coming out of Ashley coming out of her room to go to work, and she's walking down the steps, and Haley's up on the third floor, or whatever, looking down, smoking a cigarette, and we see Ashley come out, face swollen, like she jacked, eyes
closed.
Yeah,
so it looks horrible.
I was like, ooh. And then she stops and looks up at her, just keeps on walking. She's from the street. She doesn't tell on anybody. She keeps it what it is. So here's a question. Who called Child Protective Services?
I think one of the Johns did, that she stole from. I think
because he saw her. Yeah,
he knows the room that she's in, and he was super upset with her.
That's a good point. Okay. I was thinking maybe it was Ashley, but I'm like,
Ashley. It doesn't go with her character because she didn't give the reason why the kids don't hang out anymore.
That's
she was
true.
Like, don't worry about it.
That's very true.
So she didn't rat out Mooney or anything.
Yeah, because she wouldn't want to see Mooney hurt like that. And yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it probably was that same John that she stole the things from.
Yeah, because even after getting beat up by Haley, she didn't call the cops or anything. She just took her L and went on back to work.
She sure took the L on her face.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, she's got some street standards where you don't tell even if bad things happen to you.
Girl code.
Yeah,
man, it's a tough code right there.
Yeah, the John, he definitely did that. One of the last scenes that were memorable was, so there's a scene where there's some old dilapidated condos, and who is it? It's, what's the girl's name? It's Scooty. It's Jancy.
Mm-hmm.
And our girl, I want to say Brooklyn, but it's Mooney. Lord.
Weird names.
They're just breaking stuff in these condos. They're throwing toilets over the side. They're breaking mirrors. And then they see this chimney, this fireplace. And they're just like, hey, I got an idea. And Scooty showed Mooney earlier that he had a lighter.
With a naked lady on it.
And then she was like, hey, Scooty, we need your lighter. And then so they put a pillow into the fireplace and light it. And so we don't actually see it light up.
But they say this is going to be the best fire ever. Damn straight, because you see the smoke from miles away.
So as soon as he sets the lighter, we don't see it like go up in flames. All we see is Scooty running away from the camera in the next shot. He's running, and then right before, they're in the front of the hotel, and then Mooney was like, okay, guys.
Trying to get that story straight.
Yeah, she's like, don't tell your mother.
Remember, don't say anything. Don't say anything, because he repeats himself a couple times. Okay, remember, guys, we're not gonna say anything. We're not gonna say anything. I'm like, oh,
this is sad. They just run off. And so anyhow, the condo is in flames. The parents are like, hey, let's go check this out. Everybody in this hotel is like, let's go watch this thing burn.
Let's watch it burn. This is better than YouTube. Like what is wrong with you?
And so they all go to it, and then Haley is taking a picture of Mooney in front of the building. So like Mooney's taking a picture, and the background is all on fire.
Mother of the year, of course.
But her face, Mooney's face, looks like, I'm guilty.
Oh
man, it was great. She was like, I did it. Like, that's what it looks like.
And while that's happening, Ashley's like, hey, Scooty. I keep wanting to call him Spooky. Scooty. She's like, let's go to the condo. You want to watch it burn? And he's like, no, I just want to stay here and watch TV. And she's like, what's wrong? And of course, again, it's cool how they handle like what they don't show.
Yeah,
like we don't see the fire actually start.
Yeah,
and we don't hear Scooty actually tell his mom.
Yeah, that
they started the fire, but we know from the effects afterwards, the conversation that happened afterwards that he squealed.
Yeah, because she Ashley. It's funny because that kid Scooty reminds me of one of my sons, Isaiah. I was like.
Read him.
I was like, this sucker's guilty. Like, you don't want to watch a fire? You know?
You got that arson guilt look on you right now.
He said, you don't want to? He's like, no, I just want to watch TV. Like, yeah, right. Any other day, you will be the first one
all
out
about
here.
This fire. You got your feel already, didn't you?
Yes.
But yeah, man, I got to give credit to the director, because it's not easy to work with kids, but he was able to get these awesome performances. Yeah, if you get a chance to watch the making of, it's cool to see kind of how he was wrangling the kids.
Yeah,
when like to let them play and improv, and then how he was kind of throwing the lines out at them to say so it comes across so natural. Last scene I will mention for me, again, is Mooney saying goodbye to Jancy.
Oh man,
Jancy. That made me literally burst into tears.
Oh, that's rough.
And in the behind the scenes, it shows them filming that.
Yeah.
And Jancy Mooney or Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Her getting like trying to think of something sad to get to that point.
Oh my god.
And then they're filming it, and then when she finally does break, and again, and Sean's there, he's giving her the direction, and then when she breaks and starts crying, and then they get it. And he's like, all right, cut. And then she can't stop crying. She's like, yeah. Oh, I was like, not again. Dude. Oh man. And then like his associate producer / girlfriend, like she's then like holding Brooklyn, like help her kind of calm down. And then they cut to she's holding her, and then Brooklyn's on the phone with her mom. She goes, yeah, Mom, Sean says I'm the best actress he's ever worked with. So they bring up to something kind of cute, kind of helps. Like,
calm her down.
Man, this girl. But like seeing her actually in real life, like do it, work herself up to that, and like, oh, it's just that scene, man. Gosh.
What makes that scene so powerful is because we've seen her develop this friendship with Yancy, from this conservative girl that like kind of shy. So now she's hanging out with the bad kids, and they're just having a good time. They celebrate Yancy's birthday. So she's, Yancy's grandmother brought them in when they couldn't get a hotel.
They did the sleepover.
Yeah. So like we've seen all of this kind of build up, and then all the way to the end where Haley is probably going to go to jail, or there's something again. And when that happens, CPS or KF, what is it?
Well,
they called it
Child
something
Protective
else.
Services.
They called it
the
something
equivalent
else.
of.
Yeah, so it was a different acronym in this film, but they found they have another family for Mooney to go to. And so while they're trying to tell Mooney like, hey, we're going to be taking you here, she breaks away and goes to see Yancy.
Say goodbye to Jancy, yeah.
And while she's trying to do that, she's like, I can't say it.
Yeah, I can't say it. She goes, but you're my best friend, and I don't know if I'll see you again. You're like, no. And then when she breaks, because little Mooney, she's the ringleader.
Yeah.
She's street smart. She's tough. And she's only like 6 years old, like super young, but she's been this powerhouse throughout this whole film.
Yeah.
Laugh. Every situation is an adventure, is a laugh. And now Ish has gotten so real.
Man.
And the gig is up.
The gig is up.
You know, the gig is up.
Man.
And it's all crashing down. And she knows it. Mooney knows it. Her mom knows it. And she just, when she bursts into those tears, that's a heartbreaker. I don't cry at a lot of films, and I'm not saying I'm a tough guy. I've cried at films before.
Right.
But when it hits, God, it hits. There's a couple movies that make you kind of like, you know, a little tear, a little bit. You might get a little Denzel glory, one tear. But there's some that make you just like get ugly, just you instantly ugly cry. Like this was one of those like, oh my God,
it's human, man. It's
yes,
human.
it is. Tell them that is human nature. Oh man, but yeah, that fantastic job.
They did it. Did you have any tropes? I didn't have any. I was trying to, but I was like, you know what? Nothing stood out really.
All I said was broke white girl talks hood.
Was she talking hood? I thought she was just like, she had a poor just vocabulary.
Yeah.
She was talking hood to you?
Yeah. To me, she was.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
When I watch her hang out, bye, bitch. Good night, bitch. Good night, bitch. Like, yeah. Like, see, they're working. To me, like, they're working that. I'm like, Again, I got Adzola vibes.
Yeah, Adzola was turned up, though.
Oh, yeah. That was.
She had a whole black scent.
Who do you F with? I F with Jesus. Oh, yeah. I'm like, what?
She made $1. And it was fake. It was obviously fake. It was like.
Because they all liked me. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
But yeah, hood, okay.
Yeah, that's you know.
That's different. Hood is different than the black scent.
That's true. But that's what I said. That's I went with hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, single mom.
Yeah.
With a kind of carefree kid trying to hold it down. But yeah, that's about it. Really, the film kind of subverts and twists some different kinds of tropes. I saw in one headline, but I didn't really dive deep into it. So no, that's about it I got for tropes.
What kind of quotes you got?
Quotes. This is Mooney. When they first meet Jancy and they're on their way, I think, to the condo. And they're like, come on, follow us this way. And she's like, I've never been this far away from my place, my home. Mm-hmm. And Mooney's like, well, don't be a loser. And then Jancy says, don't call me that, but okay. And then Mooney says, these are the rooms that oh no, that's later on, another quote. But yeah, but they keep, going along their little merry way.
Right. Don't be a loser.
Yeah. Don't call me that, but okay.
One of the quotes I have is when the kids it's actually Scooty and Mooney. They're eating ice cream at the manager office. And they're sharing the ice cream. This is pre-COVID. They're sharing.
Of course. They share a lot of ice cream.
Lick, pass. And while they're doing this, they're like making faces at Bobby. Bobby's just staring them down, waiting. Mm-hmm. And then an ice cream drip just drops on the ground. Bloop, splat. That's it. Y'all get out. Yep. So he kicks him out. Yeah, I told you, one drop and you're out of here.
I'll go Green Goblin on your asses. Get out of here. Take her out of here.
So he kicks them out and she's like, And then he said, thank you very much. And she's like, you're not welcome.
There's a behind the scenes when they were shooting that where Brooklyn gets mad, like little kid mad, like, he because like the other kid was like taking too many licks, too much. Oh, yeah. He's eating all the ice cream. Like, she's getting mad. I'm like, oh, man, I'm sure that had to happen.
Yes,
like,
that's real.
Kids.
Especially with the boys, man.
Another quote, again, this is all three of them. They're roaming around the motel, and Mooney says, these are the rooms that we're not supposed to go into. But let's go anyway. Yeah. And that's when they go into the power room and...
on right before that, she is showing the lay of the land. Mooney is showing the lay of the land with Scooty, or Jancy, Is it Jancy, right?
Jancy.
So she's showing her the lay of the land, and then she was like, "Oh, this guy got this weird disease. This person's always in jail." And then this one room, she said, "This woman thinks she's married to Jesus."
Yeah. I'm like, what? Okay, all right. So then, okay, when we mentioned earlier when the kids are sneaking a peek at the lady sunbathing topless by the pool, and of course Bobby goes down there and he's trying to get her to cover up, and he's kind of trying to drape something over her chest. And she's like, whoa, he just touched my titty. What in the world? It's like, ma'am, please calm down. Oh, man.
She's sitting there arguing with him like, I should be able to have my breast out. She's an older woman, got these breasts hanging out.
Yep.
And then, so Bobby is trying to put her top back on. She's like, uh-oh, you touched my titty.
Yeah.
I'm telling the sheriff you touched my titty.
Oh, man. Like, ma'am, calm down. Oh, man. You got any more quotes?
At the very end, when Mooney runs away from the cops, and her mom, Haley, was just like, y'all let her run away, and I'm the one who's unfit?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh, man. And the camera, like, pans in close, like right up to her mouth.
Yeah.
She just yells it out. This is when Mooney and Jancy they're one of their many hangout adventures, and they're outside and it's raining and they're under a tree. And Jancy says, Mooney, why did you take me on this adventure? And Mooney says, I didn't know it was going to rain. And Jancy says, you didn't watch the news? And Mooney says, I never watch the news. It's so boring. And then Jancy says, I watch the news. It's not that boring. It's like kids just being kids. Like, and just the sensibility that Jansen has, and of course being raised by her grandmother, who is much more sensible than Haley. Yes. But yeah, and just Mooney. The news is so boring. Like, these kids. It's cute, but it's funny.
Speaking of which, there was a room that in this one scene we have Bobby and his son. They're throwing away a mattress, but they got to bag it up because it has bed bugs, and so they're bagging it up. The door is open. Mooney comes into the doorway, and she's like, "What you doing?" And then Bobby's like, "It's top secret." And then she's like, "Y'all are boring anyways." And then she runs up out of there.
Gotta come with the insult. This is when Mooney is at the all you can eat buffet, buffet continental kind of breakfast with her mom, and of course they're not really guests at that hotel. They just snuck in, and there's they give a room number, but she's there, and the camera's like right on her face, and she's just eating different stuff. And so I'm gonna put a cherry and a raspberry and blah 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 in my mouth. I'm gonna put them all together at the same time, and she does, and then it cuts to her saying, "Man, oh man, that's gross." This is always hilarious to hear. But she's just talking away. Some of it's a little bit of improv, but again, behind the scenes they show when Sean's kind of coaching her through that scene, and how much like she's like throwing in improv. She goes, "I just wish my stomach was bigger so I could eat more." She goes, like, and then she's just like, "I were pregnant. If I were pregnant, I could feel that bit. I could fill that stomach up." Yeah. This is wild. This kid is wild.
She's gone. Yeah, part of this scene I remember she was just like, they should make edible forks. They should make, and then when you finish your meal, you can eat the fork. I was like, that's a good idea, kid.
That's kid imagination.
That's well done.
That's all I got for quotes.
Same here. Do you have any questions for the filmmakers?
I guess, at the end, Mooney runs off with Jansen into Disney World.
Yeah. And the style changes too. It's no longer 35 millimeter. They shoot it with a phone, so it looks different too.
But yeah, they run off there, and it's not even music playing. It's just you hear this like kind of just the background noise, the ambiance noise of being in a theme park and kind of people all around. Mm-hmm. Which I'm not crazy about that ending, but I'm like, I don't know. Like you just get lost, and the people track you down because you're in freaking Disney World. Like, how are they going to find you guys?
Yeah.
I'm sure they put out a note. I'm sure the kids would eventually come back. Jansen would probably convince her to come back. I don't know, but
I took it as it didn't really happen. That's what we kind of wish happened. The real ending is her crying and the cops come and get her.
And scoop her up.
What we hope that happened is they went to Disney, had a good time, or some kind of fun or something.
Honestly, I'm like, to me, it's like like she's got to be taken away from her mom. Like her mom really is. She's literally prostituting while her daughter is, in the bathtub, like next door. Like that's number one. That's like super dangerous. Like your daughter is naked in a tub while you're having sex with guys like one door over, like strangers at that. Mm-hmm. Like you're endangering your child. Like I know you're trying to make that money, you're doing what you got to do, but yeah, it's she's got to find another way. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but again, we've lived with them for the 90-minute duration of the film. And you're like, oh man, it's heartbreaking for Mooney, but I'm like, oh no,
I mean,
excuse me.
And two, that's a touchy one. It feels, because that she isn't trying to harm this girl. She's trying the best she could and was successful for the 6 years that this kid's been alive. But
as far as we know, because she said she can't go to jail again.
Yeah,
so we don't know how many times she's been.
Yeah,
I assume it was one, but hell no, maybe it's been 2 or 3 already.
Yeah, and you got a point. We don't know where the little girl's been. Who she was with when she was in jail. Yeah,
no signs of a father figure. We don't hear anything about a dad, or not even an argument with a dad.
Nope.
But man. No, I didn't. I started to ask a question, but no, I'm pretty okay.
Okay, no questions.
No, you got any questions?
Nah. Yeah, it's a rough go.
Yeah, that ending, man.
Yeah, that one was rough. I didn't. To me, it was kind of ambiguous. I was like, did they really go? But I don't think that was. I felt like that was him kind of messing with us. That was like, okay, this is what they wanted to do if they could. But yeah, I feel like the ending was her crying at the door, and that was it.
Because I'm like, well, kids. I mean. When you watch them run, like, oh, they're not super
pretty
coordinated.
Far.
Yeah, they're not super coordinated. Like they like all the way to Disney World,
7 miles away, I believe, like something like that.
Yeah, you don't got that kind of cardio, kid. I know you had some practice during the summer, but no, you may be setting fires, but you're not running 7 miles like nonstop. Yeah, that's a fair. But I hadn't thought of it as a kind of a fantasy at the end. But yeah, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
It was, yeah. It's over, kid.
Summer's over.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's rough.
It's an abrupt end.
Trivia. What you got?
Sean Bean had a real girl at one point. Like he used to be a manager at a movie theater. And he said like he got that from an actual real experience where they had to kick out some people, and the girl literally, as she left, stopped, reached into her pants, pulled out her maxi pad, came back and slammed it on the window the same way that Haley did, which we forgot to mention that scene. That is very memorable.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
But yeah, that was a real life thing that happened to him. He took that from real life.
Lovely.
Yeah, gross.
Dang. Sean, the director, turned the location to a boot camp with Samantha Kwan, who was the acting coach, and the lead actress had like 2 weeks to kind of work with her.
Yeah.
The one that played Haley.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. And she would actually attend the stuff with the kids because the kids were going through it too. Uh-huh. And she would attend the stuff with the kids during the day and then have some special time with her coach to train up some more. So that way she could build the relationship and the connection with Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, all that worked out. They actually found her on Instagram.
In the gram, reaching the DM.
This was a 38-day shoot, but about 13 days in is when Sean did rewrites. An original script, the mother was going to have a really big drug problem. Oh. And not be featured as much, if I remember. But then he kind of got more of a grasp on things, and they did some rewrites to get the film the way it turned out.
I like they did that.
Yeah, agreed.
Sean calls Brooklyn, the one that plays Mooney. He says she's like on a whole nother level. He's like, she was born to do this. She is like the next Jodie Foster.
Ooh, we think about, Jodie Foster in Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
We could see glimpses of her greatness. During production, a actual real double rainbow appeared during the production. So when the girls are looking at that rainbow and talking about going and beating up the leprechaun,
yeah,
that was a real double rainbow that appeared after much rain.
They didn't have a CGI budget. Let's get it.
Yeah, well, they end up saying, "Oh man, because we just say production, X amount of thousands of dollars because that real double rainbow is showing up there." And we got to shoot now. Let's go.
Absolutely. So when we see Haley and Mooney selling perfumes to people outside the hotel, like they were doing this in real life. So Sean had them selling this perfume to real pedestrians, and the people that they were selling to didn't know they were on camera.
Yeah, they behind the scenes, like he talks about how we're gonna like have them go out there, and then we'll get permission afterwards. We'll have them sign permission
sign the lease afterwards.
Yeah, so they just got those real candid responses.
Man, that's also part of what makes this movie feel so real, because some of those moments just feel real, and just, like turns out they were.
Yeah, that it definitely worked out for them. Yeah, all the other stuff I've already mentioned before. So that's all I got for trivia.
I thought I had another one. Dun, dun, dun. It's gone. Now it's time for Filmmaker Tips. Oh, you about to take that?
No.
Now it's time for Filmmaker Tips. All right, what you got for Filmmaker Tips?
Sometimes, well, no, we actually just covered that in trivia. At times, you have to lead by example. Again, I mentioned this before, but the director was actually showing them how to block a certain scene, how he wanted it done. So he was showing Haley how she was going to puke in the toilet, and then how the cinematographer would then pan over to Brooklyn and then pan over back to Haley. So sometimes as a director, you got to lead by example and physically show how you want things done, both for your actors and your camera folks.
The director talks about when you're dealing with kids between the ages of 6 and 8, he thought that he can kind of do a lot of improv and things like that with them, but he was like, they have to learn the script. Like, there's no like half learning the script. He said because they need a foundation to improv from. So he said he learned that from like, he said he was naive, kind of going in and thought that they'll be able to just kind of wing some of that stuff. But he's like, no, at that age, they need to learn the script. So they have something to go from.
Nice. Non-professional does not mean unprofessional.
Oh, say again?
Non-professional actor does not mean an unprofessional actor. Because in this film, you have a number of non-professional actors and people doing their first major films. Then you have a powerhouse like Willem Dafoe. But sometimes people equate, they hear, this person's a non-professional actor. That automatically they're going to be unprofessional, but that's not necessarily true.
Use what you have. So like kind of what you said about, what'd you say? You said something about something that happened and they used it. The rainbow. I
was like, thing. What thing?
Yeah, the rainbow. So originally when they first scouted the location, there was no helicopter going in and out of the place. But a month or so before they started shooting, this helicopter pad is going back and forth off of the property, next to the property, and causing audio problems. So he was just like, you know what? Part of his style is using what's happening. And so since it's a helicopter, it's going to be taken off. They include it as part of the script. So certain times in the movie, you'll see them, F you, throwing the middle finger up to the helicopter and all that stuff. But that was making that element part of the movie.
Part of the movie. Super smart. Very smart. My last tip. Research. Sean and his co-writer actually would make trips down to Florida and stay at motels and talk with people who lived in them to learn more about the hidden homeless and their situations, and some of their stories made their way into the Florida project.
Man.
And also it helped them scout locations that they used in the filming as well, like the gift shop and some of the other locations they found them while they were doing this research, about a 5-year period.
Oh, wow. Also, one of my last tip is the kids, they lose their energy and focus by the third take. So make sure your crew is ready to go. There's no warm-up takes. take 1, take 2, that's what you got.
Hey.
After that, they start getting bored and they wander off. So you have up to 3 takes and that's it. You just move on.
Nice, nice.
Overall, I enjoyed this project, this movie.
Me too.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect.
Neither did I, but a pleasant surprise. Again, sad ending, but well executed. Yeah. And so it's okay to have a sad ending if you feel like everything. Like it was a good journey.
Yeah, and with these auteur films, you know, it's a lot of times the ending is ambiguous, and we don't really get that payoff that we're used to with the other American films, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean it's consistent. All 4 films that kind of fall in this category. So from the Florida Project to The Hard 8 to The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Oh my God, that was, yeah.
I think At Zola gives us the most kind of closure.
Yeah. Yeah, that one gives us, yeah.
But even then, it's like her friendship or whatever with the other girl like ended.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's like no happy endings in these things, but
we left off, but we did leave off with a laugh in that Zola because I mean we're on the road with this guy bleeding.
Dummy.
Yeah,
and you selfish.
You better die in my car, nigga.
Oh man, yeah, Adzola had some laughs. Oh, I will give it that.
$1. All right, what are we watching next time?
Next time we are checking out Crimes. Wait, no, this I didn't type. I think we were talking about
we're watching Crimes.
I'm like, this does not. I think Crimes of the Vehicle. What the heck? No, we are watching Future. Let me get the title correct, ladies and gentlemen. I promise I've done this before. Mm-hmm. Mixing all kinds of things together. All right. Crimes of the Future by one David Cronenberg of The Fly fame. So, you know it's going to be gross.
It is going to be gross.
Oh, boy. I mean,
I'm reluctant.
You're making me reluctant. Your reluctancy is making me reluctant. I'm like, what do we do?
Yeah,
Hereditary all over again.
No, I don't think only one person on Earth can make Hereditary. And that's Asher, whatever the heck his name is. Or maybe that new guy that does all those the History X? No, not History X. What's the film about it's called X.
Right. He's got another one that came out
called Pearl something.
Yeah, I still kind of want to see that.
Me too.
I kind of don't, but I kind of do.
Maybe we should. We should watch X first, then watch the prequel.
Pearl?
Yeah, because it's a prequel.
Oh, then another. Oh, I know nothing. I know nothing about X.
Oh, so X is about this ragtag band of.
I don't have to know anything about it. I'm down.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go down a dark trail.
Yeah.
Potentially these next couple of episodes. So Future Crimes, then potentially X, and then Pearl.
Yeah.
Got some things laid out. We don't know if the other two have commentaries, but we're flexible.
Yeah, we are these days.
Yes. 2023, the flexibility.
And where can everybody catch us?
You can find us on Facebook.com/Filmmaker Commentary. We're also on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, and Spotify. Please check us out, leave us a like and a review. On Twitter, you can find him at Reggie Titus. I'm at KCG Smith 32. We're also on the gram at Filmmaker Commentary. He's also on Instagram at Reginald Titus Jr. That's JR. And I'm at KCG Smith 32.
Until next time, peace.
Respect.